Good evening and welcome to the February 15th Clearwater City Council meeting. I'd ask that you please rise and join the Major Ted Morris from the Salvation Army for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's bow for prayer. Our Father, thank you for the fact that we live in a country where we can meet like this in public to discuss issues related to our community. As we come together this evening, we pray for your guidance over tonight's proceedings. Thank you for our mayor, the council members, the city manager, city attorney, and all those who work to keep Clearwater, the city, beautiful. Keep those safe who work boots on the ground, law enforcement, fire and rescue, maintenance, and all others who work among our people. As issues are discussed this evening, may we who are observing this meeting strive to understand one another and the views expressed. For it's in the name of our Creator and Sustainer of life we make this prayer this evening. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Major Morris. We appreciate those words. To my far right is our city manager, Jennifer Poirier.
Good evening.
Next to her is city council member Kathleen Beckman.
Good evening.
To my immediate right is our vice mayor, Mark Bunker.
Good evening.
To my left is council member Linda Teixeira.
Good evening.
Next to her is council member David Albritton.
Good evening.
Next to him is our attorney, David Margolis.
Good evening.
Good evening. We're going to start with some special awards. There are 5 service awards this evening. We're going to start with 20-year awards with Sean Beasley from Parks and Recreation. Please come forward.
Hard work, loyalty, and passion make the best employees. And Sean Beasley has been one of Clearwater's finest for the last 20 years. Sean uses his infectious personality, easy laugh, and gruff Cape Cod accent to bring people together to positively impact the residents and visitors of Clearwater. Sean began his career with the city as a recreation specialist in 2004. He was hired to run the youth programs and summer camp at the Long Center, which was a perfect fit for his magnetic personality. Sean was tasked with creating and filming a brand new summer camp that first year. Under his leadership, the Long Center had over 100 kids that first summer, and they all wanted to be near Mr. Sean. In 2008, Sean was promoted to the recreation supervisor, overseeing all programs and activities at the Long Center. Sean effectively managed the Long Center for 9 years. He learned the names of every person who came to that facility and made each one feel special. In 2017, Sean was promoted again to a position overseeing multiple Clearwater rec centers and programs. Sean has won multiple awards with the city, from Rec Division Employee of the Month to City of Clearwater Employee of the Month, and in 2020, he was selected by the National Recreation and Parks Association as one of the top recreation professionals in the country. Sean serves on the Employee Recognition Committee, the Executive Board of the ARC, the Long Center Foundation Board, and the Clearwater Little League Board. Sean Beasley's current title is Recreation Manager, but he is so much more than that. Sean is the heart and soul of Clearwater Parks and Recreation Programming Division. He encourages and empowers his staff by setting high standards and leading by example. He would be the first one to pick up a broom and clean a dirty restroom or put on a bunny suit in 95-degree weather to make a child smile. Sean has a consistently positive attitude and a passion to serve others, which make him an outstanding leader and a true ambassador for Clearwater's superior public service. For the past 20 years, Sean has positively impacted the lives of his coworkers, Clearwater citizens, and visitors, and just about everyone he meets. Sean Beasley truly makes Clearwater thrive. Thank you.
Congratulations to Sean. He had a Grinch suit on at the Christmas thing, and the kids actually loved it. They weren't afraid of it. So that's great. We have Shelby Brown from Planning Development. Please come forward.
Shelby started her career with the City of Clearwater in July of 2003 as a part-time emergency employee. She became a full-time employee in February of 2004, accepting a position as Code Compliance Inspector. Shelby has spent her whole 20-year career in code compliance and has dedicated her career to the beautification of the city's neighborhoods. Shelby has worked in every neighborhood of the city during her 20-year career and has spent her time focusing on educating citizens and upholding the city's ordinances as a code inspector. Shelby's exceptional skill set shines particularly in her ability to communicate, explain, and convey both departmental and citywide policies and procedures. The position of code inspector is currently not the easiest of positions, nor is it most popular. But Shelby comes to work each day with a positive attitude that is contagious in the office. Her boisterous energy and unwavering optimism make her a joy to work with, both in the office and out in the field. Shelby embraces our strategic vision of community well-being by supporting neighborhood identities through services and programs that empower community pride and belonging. In March of 2023, Shelby was promoted to Code Inspector 2, and since being promoted, Shelby has helped train new employees that have come through the division, imparting her institutional knowledge and helping set up the Code Compliance Division team for success. Shelby's impact as a member of the Code Compliance Division, as well as her impact on the city, will be felt for many years to come thanks to the instruction and care she has shown. Thank you for all that you do. Your work and attitude reflect the city's vision, a community that thrives from Bay to Beach, by delivering high-performing government, ensuring community well-being, and providing superior public service. Shelby, we appreciate your 20 years of devoted service, and you are a true example of someone who makes Clearwater thrive.
Somebody lost their microphone. Congratulations to Shelby. Now if we could have Pete Gushy from the fire department please come forward. Pete?
This year marks Pete Gushy's 20th anniversary with the Clearwater Fire and Rescue. He has held numerous positions within the fire department throughout his 20-year career, being promoted from fire medic to lieutenant, then to EMS coordinator, and finally to fire training officer. His most recent position plays a crucial role in the training and development of our firefighters. In his 2 decades of service, Pete has exemplified the essence of dedication, expertise, and leadership in the fire service. His leadership is directly related to our strategic plan and high-performing government and fostering safe and healthy communities in Clearwater through first-class public safety and emergency response. As a chief officer, he has been instrumental in developing and implementing new training materials that have enhanced our department's operational efficiency, as well as our firefighters' safety and preparedness. Beyond the firehouse, Pete is also engaged in academic research as a PhD candidate. His dissertation offers a novel approach to firefighter research, adopting the Safety 2 perspective to examine the complexities of firefighter safety by exploring experiences of firefighter survival. By focusing on the real-world experiences of firefighters surviving life-threatening situations inside burning structures, Pete is illuminating aspects of firefighter safety. We appreciate his diligence and his continued commitment to the betterment of the fire department and his employees through training. And it's an honor to recognize Pete Gushy for his 20 years of dedicated superior public service to the Clearwater Fire Department and our citizens. Thank you for your dedication to providing a high-performing government by adopting responsive levels of service. Pete, thank you again for your 20 years of service as you truly make Clearwater thrive from Bay to Beach.
Congratulations again to Pete. And now also from the fire department, if we have James Van Zant, please come forward.
James started his career with the City of Clearwater on February 9th of 2004 when he was initially hired as a firefighter EMT. James was quickly promoted to the rank of driver-operator in 2007, and then to lieutenant in 2020. In all roles, James has provided excellent care and service to our citizens and the surrounding communities. James enjoyed driving at Station 45 for most of his career. Shortly after, he was assigned to Station 48, where James shared the responsibility of leadership on Engine 48 and Truck 48. As the department expanded, James accepted the challenge to learn high-rise and fireboat operations at Station 44. Now assigned to Truck 45, James is helping develop the next generation of firefighters and drivers. Lieutenant Van Zandt is also an instructor with our training division and occasionally assists with teaching truck company operations, SCBA, and extrication training during recruit school for the recruits. He continues to be a pivotal asset to the organization through his involvement with the TRT. James joined the technical rescue team in 2012. James also became certified as an operator for the Boat 44 in 2022. James has been a model employee for 20 years, and he has taken an official leadership and mentorship role. Many of our junior officer members look to James for guidance and mentorship. On behalf of the mayor, city council, city manager, and other city officials, we appreciate the selfless service that you have given for so many years. Together, we take pride in your accomplishments and value your commitment to excellence. It's an honor to recognize you for your 20 years of service of dedicated superior public service to your department and our citizens. Thank you for your dedication to providing a high-performing government by helping foster safe and healthy communities in Clearwater through your first-class public safety and emergency response. Thank you for your 20 years of service as you have helped Clearwater thrive from Bay to Beach.
Congratulations again to James. And now for 30 years of service from Public Works, Paul Dembinski, please come forward.
Powell began his employment with the city's engineering department in February of 1994 as a drafting technician. Within a short time, he was promoted to a position as an analyst of computer-aided design and subsequently to engineering systems coordinator. More recently, Powell was elevated to the GIS assistant manager position. Powell comes to us from Poland, where he has earned an advanced degree in electronics engineering from Technical University. He practiced engineering in Poland before emigrating to the United States and obtaining his U.S. citizenship, of which he is extremely proud. Powell's role in supporting the full scope of engineering's ongoing technology efforts require him to be proactive in his educational efforts and keep up with the constant advancements in the technology world. He has done just that. Over time, Powell has mastered advancements in technology, thereby playing a key role in the development and maintenance of the city's geographical information systems and Oracle Work Order asset management system. Oftentimes, the accomplishments and success of an organization are driven by employees behind the scenes, employees that are not necessarily in the public view, but rather operate in such a way that does not attract attention. Powell is that person. He works very quietly in advancing engineering's technology efforts and relevance, but the subtlety in which his work does not make his contribution any less important. Powell is a critical asset to the Public Works Department and as the city as a whole. It's our pleasure to recognize Powell for his 30 years of dedicated superior public service to the city. You have helped to generate organizational success through your collaborative engagement and inclusive decision-making to create shared value outcomes. Thank you for your dedication to providing a high-performing government by helping to provide evidence-based measurement tools to continually guide municipal performance and promote accountable governance. Powell, thank you for your 30 years of service as you have helped make Clearwater thrive from Bay to Beach.
Congratulations again to Powell and to all of our service award. Okay, we have 4 proclamations this evening. We're going to begin with the Youth Art Month proclamation. If we could have Beth Daniels from the Clearwater Arts Alliance please come forward. Whereas the study and production of art leads to a fuller, more meaningful life, and whereas art education provides substantial educational benefits to all elementary, middle, and high school students, and whereas art education cultivates students' creativity, develops problem-solving and critical thinking skills by reinforcing and bringing to life what is learned in other subjects, and whereas art education teaches sensitivity to beauty, order, and other expressive qualities and gives students a deeper understanding of multicultural values and beliefs, whereas our national leaders, the National Art Education Association, Florida Arts Education Association, Arts for a Complete Education, Pinellas, and the Clearwater Arts Alliance acknowledge the necessity of including art experiences in all students' education. Now therefore, I, Brian Unk, Sr., Mayor of the City of Clearwater, Florida, on behalf of the Clearwater City Council, do hereby proclaim March 2024 to be Youth Art Month in Clearwater and encourage citizens to support quality arts programs and experience the arts in their daily lives.
We have an art walk this Saturday. You're all invited downtown, showing off art around our beautiful city. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wants to stop. Okay, now we have Irish American Heritage Month proclamation. We have Brendan Kelly from the Ancient Order of Hibernians. Please come forward. Whereas the first Irish came to Spanish La Florida in the 1500s, first as missionaries and mercenary soldiers, and then as planters, traders, businessmen, doctors, and administrators, whereas by 1776, nearly 300,000 Irish nationals had immigrated to the American colonies and played a crucial role in America's war for independence. And whereas Irish Americans, since America's inception, have provided and continue to provide leadership and service to this nation's political, business, and religious establishments, and whereas 22 presidents have proudly proclaimed their Irish American heritage, whereas it is fitting and proper to celebrate the rich cultural heritage and the many valuable contributions of Irish Americans. Now therefore, I, Brian Unk, Sr., Mayor of the City of Clearwater, Florida, on behalf of the Clearwater City Council, do hereby proclaim March 2024 to be Irish American Heritage Month in the City of Clearwater.
Great. Say a few words here.
Certainly.
This, Mayor Unks, City Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Irish American community in Florida, I would like to express our gratitude for your kind consideration and designation of March as Irish American Heritage Month. St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, is without question the biggest celebration of a national holiday across the world. American Canadian cities in Ireland, in the United Kingdom, in Germany, Norway, Denmark, Australia, in New Zealand, and South Korea, and people will all be celebrating this occasion and proclaiming themselves Irish for the day. The proclamation will coincide with festivities that are currently underway as Irish Americans once again gather and celebrate in heritage throughout the state of Florida. During this month of March, Irish Floridians proudly reflect on the legacy of the Irish forebears who have contributed significantly in the areas of education, business, sports, literature, science, engineering, medicine, law enforcement, and the arts. There are just some of the contributions that have been made, not only by the Irish, but by many ethnic groups and racial groups who have come to the United States from the four corners of the world and who have assisted in developing the great country of ours. As president of the Ancient Order of Hibernians of Florida, the oldest and largest Irish organization in the world, I would like to acknowledge and esteem the esteemed honor that Mayor Angst and the City of Commissioners have bestowed upon all Irish Americans living within the city and the great state of Florida. Thank you, and have a blessed St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Okay, if we can have John Long from Hope Villages of America come forward for the Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month proclamation. Whereas teen dating violence includes physical, psychological, or sexual abuse, harassment, or stalking of any person ages 12 to 18 in the context of a past or present romantic consensual relationship. And whereas 1 in 3 adolescent girls is a victim of physical, emotional, or verbal abuse from a dating partner. And whereas only 33% of teens who are in an abusive relationship ever tell anyone about the abuse, and 81% of parents surveyed either believe teen dating violence is not an issue or admit they do not know if it is one. And whereas Hope Villages of America provides young people with education about healthy relationships in an effort to prevent teen dating violence, and whereas the establishment of Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month will prevent young people, their families, schools, and communities, regardless of socioeconomic status, gender, sexual orientation, or ethnicity. Now therefore, I, Brian Unk Sr., Mayor of the City of Clearwater, Florida, on behalf of the Clearwater City Council, do hereby proclaim February 2024 to be Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month in Clearwater. And finally, if we could have Carla Deese and Larry Jones, City of Clearwater Diversity Leadership Council, come forward for the Black History Month proclamation. Whereas since 1976, the month of February has been recognized as Black History Month, and whereas Black History Month is an important opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate the many African American heroes who have made our nation and the City of Clearwater a better place to live, work, visit, and grow. And whereas Clearwater has been enriched by the immeasurable contributions made by our African American community, and we cherish this moment to highlight their achievements. And whereas Black History Month is an important time to celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to Clearwater's cultural, diversity, social equality, and economic contributions. Now, now therefore, I, Brian Unk Sr., Mayor of the City of Clearwater, Florida, on behalf of the Clearwater City Council, do hereby proclaim February 2024 as Black History Month in the City of Clearwater. This observance affords special opportunities to become more knowledgeable about Black history and to honor the many African Americans who have contributed to our great nation. Okay, thank you for everyone that showed up for the proclamations. And if we can have an approval of the minutes of the February 1st, 2024 meeting, please.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Consent agenda, are there any items to be pulled from the consent this evening?
Mayor, I have a request to pull items 6.1 and 6.8.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept the rest of the consent minus 6.1 and 6.8?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. 6.1, please.
Approve the Fourth Amendment to Agreement for Development and Purchase and Sale of Property between the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Clearwater, the City of Clearwater, and Archway Clearwater Gardens LLC, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Thank you, Chuck Lane, Economic Development Housing Department. Is there a question you have, or should I just deliver a presentation?
Do you have any questions, comments? Anyone from the public want to speak to this item?
Ms. Flaherty has two individuals who have given up their time, Mr. Haluba and Mr. Taylor. She has 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Kathy Flaherty, and I'm here to talk about this contract. Basically, what it is, it's a contract that develops the Econo Lodge property on Cleveland Street that the CRA purchased, I don't know, about 5 years ago. I really don't have any problem with the development, okay? I support the development, so please don't think that why I'm up here against it. I just have questions over the $3 million that the CRA is contributing to the development. So, and I just want to be clear, when you guys approve these contracts, that you need to let the people in the CRA know what's going on, because this TIF funds, okay, this was basically approved back in September of 2022, and Lena moved, basically it was going to be a interest-free deferred loan from the CRA for $3 million, okay? So I was asking where this $3 million was coming from, and so I sent in a public records request. All right, this was my records request I sent in. All right, this was the answer I get. The $3 million was awarded, and the funds are being allocated and paid from county increment funds. Okay, those increment funds are funds that the developer, that are given to the CRA to help the development of my community. And there were funds, there were projects that have been ongoing since 2012, such as the Stevenson's Creek project, that those funds could go to. That's what my understanding was. Okay, and I get that understanding from, let's see, back in 2015 when they started talking about using TIF funds for loans, the CRA director said that the TIF funds could impact the East Gateway Action Plan. So that's why I care about these things, all right? And one of the East Gate Action Plans is the Stevenson's Creek improvements. And if you know me, I go out on Stevenson's Creek and I pick up garbage all the time. And one of these improvements, which is in the development plan, is a simple, envisions the creek, a simple trail boardwalk, a children's playground, and an urban edge. It's a nice little thing. The city owns the property already, okay? So that's not a problem. This is the area, this is what it looks like now. Yes, I'm sorry, I should have brought that up. This is what it looks like now. So a simple little path, and pay attention to my community. The city owns all this, so it's not like we have to, Mr. Delk said at the CRA meeting we'd have to buy property. That's not the case. You don't need to buy property, the city owns it. In the 2018 development plan, it's got it as a future park. You guys thought about it. This is from 2018. Transform Stevenson's Creek drainage canal into a north-south linear greenway trail. So that's what some of these county TIF monies are supposed to go to. But instead of doing that kind of stuff, which was going on in 2017, 2018, all of a sudden, it's got flipped into over COVID time, and now you guys are starting to fund all these developer projects like that. And my little project to fix the Stevenson's Creek has just disappeared. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a crazy person up here and pointing fingers, but my projects are gone, and I come up here and I ask, why are they gone? Oh, well, there's no community interest. I think the city of Clearwater has interest in maintaining Stevenson's Creek. That's not just me and people think I'm up here spouting for the Hispanic community. I don't represent the Hispanic community. I don't speak Spanish. I live in that community. I have a property in that community. I have a bike shop in that community. My neighbors are Hispanic. They speak Spanish. I don't know. They've got kids. They like to go to parks. They don't like walking around hookers, and they don't like walking around prostitutes just as me. So when I'm up here, it's because of things like this. And no one tells me that these things are going away. If you're going to use county TIF funds to pay developers $3 million, that takes, where do you think $3 million comes from? It comes from projects like this. All right, so that's why I'm against this. Not because I don't want something nice in my community. Just find the funds someplace else, and don't make excuses like you don't own the property like you said at the end of the CRA meeting. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Flaherty. Anyone else want to speak to this item? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 6.1.
Sir, you're disrupting the meeting. Please don't do that, okay? Let's just have a nice meeting tonight, okay? Thank you. You can clap, but don't, Anyway, we have a motion?
I made a motion to approve agenda items.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, unanimous. 6.8, please.
Approve a guaranteed maximum price of Biltmore Construction of Bel Air, Florida for the construction of the Gateway Plaza in the amount of $930,929 pursuant to request for qualifications 40-20, construction manager at risk, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tara Kivett, City Engineer. This is a companion item to February 12th Monday CRA meeting. It's a GMP with Biltmore Construction for approximately $930,000 to construct the Mercado as part of the Cleveland Streetscape project. We will be back with an item to you, as mentioned in the agenda summary, on March 4th work session to request your approval for approximately $223,000 PO to US Shade. They're the ones that are actually designing, providing, and installing the shade structure, so for a total project of 1.15. Any questions?
Any questions or comments? Is there anyone who wants to speak to this item?
Ms. Flaherty has time on this one as well. Mr. Haluba and Mr. Taylor, she has 5 minutes.
Get this better this time. Okay, this Mercado area is supposed to be part of a larger festival core area that was approved in 2017, and it's been talked about since 2012. This is what you guys are approving. It's this umbrella structure for $1 million, and we'll talk about how it developed. All right, back in 2017 in September, it was approved by, it was approved by the council, and it was supposed to be a Mercado, a street, and it was street festival area, all right, with a street market around it and such. And then in 2020, all of a sudden, it got presented again. This is the new, so you see there was a street market in 2017. And then all of a sudden, 2020, it pops up again, and it becomes this structure at the beach. We're not sure what it is. It's not a Mercado anymore. It's a festival plaza, and the comments were made that it was presented at the beach. So nobody knew there was a street market around it. This is when Ms. Beckman and Ms. Bunker went to approve it. All right, and then that fell through because that scheme just died because it wasn't feasible. So now it's grass. So now we're at this next one. So in 2012, well, in September of 2022, we have Lena. She got involved in it, and she renamed the Mercado to. She talked about renaming it to the Festival Core, which I think confused everybody. And then it went to a neighborhood group in my neighborhood, and they got a hold of it. And so then it went from this beach design into this new, I'm not sure what it is, it's a Gateway Festival Core, and it's now a gathering space. It's not a Mercado anymore. It's a gathering space, and you're supposed to, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with it. And so now, what we have is, so these are the people that want this neighborhood group. It's a small group up there, maybe 20 people. It doesn't represent the whole community. They want to have this, oh, and then it got changed back from Festival Core to Mercado name. But basically what it is, it's supposed to be, this is what's built right now. This is the Mercado area, and there's a street market around it. And I have been coming to, these are the plans for the street market. All right, that's what's built up there. All right, this is where it is. But you guys, this is pictures of it. All right, it's supposed to be a vibrant place, but that's all been canceled. All right, we don't have any street market up there anymore. Instead of that, instead of a street market area and a Mercado area, we are getting a gathering space with a $1 million umbrella that is actually designed not to hold rain and not to provide shade over the whole thing. If you listen to the presentation, it's an ornamental, Mr. Delk explains it as The Mercado is not built for any specific purpose intended to close streets. It's supposed to be a focal point. My little blighted community does not need $1 million focal point umbrella. It needs improvements to like Stevenson's Creek. It needs an active street market. You guys, instead of supporting us, this is your website. This picture isn't even from this city. I don't know where this is from. It's not this city. All right, you move the economic zones in 2045 master plan away from Cleveland Street. This is where the street market is. So it's never going to be a street market. It's not going to be listed in parks. You're going to have $1 million umbrella on the corner of Gulf to Bay in Cleveland with no purpose. Please don't spend the money, this money. This is ridiculous. It's nice, it's fine the way it is. We can have a street market, but you guys did spend $600,000, and there's this Cleveland street market about 5 blocks south. All right, this one is in the economic zone, so there's another street market. It's just not the original one. So there's 2 street markets within 5 blocks. Ours, the community one, is not available for use, but this one, the CRA spent $600,000 on that. And this is the planning committee, so just want to show you that. All right?
Thank you, Ms. Flaherty.
Don't do that to my community, please.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak to this item? Okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 6.8.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to administrative public hearing, 7.1, please.
Approve a management agreement between the City of Clearwater and the Clearwater Community Sailing Center Association for use of the building and property located at 1001 Gulf Boulevard from March 1, 2024 through February 28, 2029, and authorize the appropriate officials to execute same.
Good evening, Mayor, council
evening.
members. Art Cater, Director of Parks and Recreation. The item before you this evening is the approval of the management agreement between the city and the Clearwater Community Sailing Center. We had discussed this item at work session, and I know that there came an issue that possibly they didn't budget for the rent that they were charging. I admit that the budget was very small, and my eyes don't see as well, but it was there, and basically they had budgeted for their rent. They had budgeted on basically the CPI, sorry about that. Basically what this agreement is for $24,000 a year with a 5% increase. Those are the differences. I did talk to the president. He will change that sheet. So with that, are there any other questions?
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Nope. Anyone want to speak to this item? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 7.1.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Thank you. 7.2, please.
Vacate all prior recorded antiquated resolutions and terminate the interlocal agreement with Pinellas County concerning the property Old City Hall, now subject to a purchase and sale contract, and adopt Resolution 2405.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Council members, Robert Kasmer, Public Works Engineering, Real Estate. In brief, the item before you tonight is Resolution 2405, which will vacate and terminate 3 recorded title encumbrances, thereby allowing the Old City Hall land buyers to obtain full insurance. Encumbrances 1 and 2 to be vacated are Resolution 79-44, recorded on 5/22 of 79. Second encumbrance to vacate, Resolution 0030, recorded on 8/11/20. Encumbrance number 3 to terminate will vacate the interlocal agreement between the city and Pinellas County, recorded on 1/22 of 92. When this is completed, I hope that the title will then be fully cleared and the property can be sold. City staff have reviewed and approved this request. Any questions, please?
Any questions or comments on this item? Is there anyone from the public wishes to discuss this? You want to read the resolution?
Mayor, we have Resolution 24-05, a resolution of the City of Clearwater vacating antiquated resolutions and terminating an interlocal agreement with Pinellas County as applied to property that is the subject of a purchase and sale contract, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve item 7.2.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. 7.3, please.
Approve the request to vacate a drainage easement at 309 Coronado Drive, Clearwater, from the property owners DC Clearwater Beach 1 Property LLC as recorded in OR Book 15904, page 863-868 of the Public Records of Pinellas County and pass ordinance 9743-24.
Thank you, Rose. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Robert Casmer, Public Works Engineering, Real Estate. In brief, this vacation ordinance request has two components. The first is to vacate the current 10-by-15 drainage and utility easement at 309 Coronado Drive by request of the owners, DC Clearwater Beach Property LLC. The second condition, and as a condition to the grant of the vacation, is, as a condition of the vacation, the owners of the property shall grant to the city a 10-by-15 drainage utility easement to be recorded and placed upon the adjacent unrecorded utilities. As shown in the picture, the utilities were placed back, I believe, in 1986. At that time, the developer had chose to put it there. The city had agreed with them, and then the utilities were removed. Nothing we can do about that. Moving forward, we're going to vacate that and then place the granted easement they're giving to us over the pipes that were then installed roughly 30 feet north of where it was originally recorded. So there was an error, and tonight we are correcting that. There are no other utilities within the proposed vacation. City staff have approved this request. Any questions, please?
Any questions or comments? Is there anyone who wants to speak to this item? If not, do you want to read the ordinance?
We have ordinance number 9743-24, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, vacating a 15-foot drainage and utility easement as shown on the attached Exhibit A and as recorded in OR Book 15904, pages 863 through 868 of the Public Records of Pinellas County, Florida, providing an effective date.
Have a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 7.3.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. 7.4, please.
Reapprove the joint participation agreement G2092 between the City of Clearwater and the State of Florida Department of Transportation, parking lot expansion rehabilitation at the Clearwater Air Park. Authorize the appropriate officials to execute same and adopt Resolution 24-01 as amended.
Good evening, Council. Mike McDonald, Marine and Aviation. This is a Florida Department of Transportation grant. It's an 80-20 grant for the parking lot expansion. It'll be a part of the terminal project. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? Anyone want to speak to this item? Okay, we have a resolution.
Resolution number 24-01, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, authorizing the execution of a joint participation agreement between the City of Clearwater, Florida and the State of Florida Department of Transportation for a grant for parking lot rehabilitation and expansion at the Clearwater Air Park, providing an effective date.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 7.4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. 7.5, please.
Reapprove the joint participation agreement G2086 between the City of Clearwater and the State of Florida Department of Transportation, geotechnical and survey of air park property at the Clearwater Air Park. Authorize the appropriate officials to execute same and adopt Resolution 24-02 as amended.
This is another Florida Department of Transportation grant. This will provide geotech and survey work out at the air park for all the projects coming up. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any discussion on this item? Is there anyone from the public wants to discuss this? Do we have a motion? Or excuse me, we need to read the resolution first.
Resolution number 24-02, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, authorizing the execution of a joint participation agreement between the City of Clearwater, Florida and the State of Florida Department of Transportation for a grant for geotechnical analysis and survey of the Clearwater Air Park, providing an effective date.
Do I have a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 7.5.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. 7.6, please.
Reapprove the joint participation agreement G2080 between the City of Clearwater and the State of Florida Department of Transportation, design of corporate hangars at the Clearwater Air Park. Authorize the appropriate officials to execute same and adopt Resolution 24-03 as amended.
This is a Florida Department of Transportation grant to provide funding for the design of future expansion of corporate hangars out at the airport. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Anyone want to discuss this item? Okay, do we read the resolution, please?
Resolution number 24-03, a resolution of the City of Clearwater, Florida, authorizing the execution of a joint participation agreement between the City of Clearwater, Florida, and the State of Florida Department of Transportation for a grant to design new corporate hangars at the Clearwater Air Park, providing an effective date.
Now do we have a motion?
Move to approve item 7.6.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Second readings of public hearings, 8.1, please.
See if we can pull that up successfully. Mayor, we have ordinance number 9744-24 on second reading, an ordinance of the City of Clearwater, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Article 3, Division 5 of the Clearwater Code of Ordinances, amending the statement of policy and findings of the Downtown Development Board, amending the governance structure of the board, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Any questions on this item? Is there anyone from the public who wants to discuss this? If not, please read the ordinance.
Did.
Oh, you did read the ordinance. Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 8.1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Now time for citizens to be heard regarding items not on tonight's agenda. Please fill out a card if you haven't already and give it to the clerk, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Citizens regarding items not on the agenda tonight.
My name is Eleanor Lyda. I live at 1221 Drew Street, and I'm I'm co-president of the Downtown Gateway Business and Neighbors Association. Good morning, Mayor, Councilman, Councilwomen.
Evening. Evening.
Let's see.
That's okay.
City Manager, Assistant City Manager, and City Attorney. For the past 20 years, I have been an active and engaged resident of the Gateway in Clearwater. Both Maurice and I watched the council work session on Monday, and we were dismayed by the behavior calling out the council with lies and inappropriate outbursts. We decided that we should come forward and just say a few words. So, yes, 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 I want you all to know that the Gateway community and the Gateway merchants definitely want the Mikado. I also want to thank you for your support through these challenges. We want to thank the council for its efforts to redevelop the Gateway, and you all should be applauded. And now I like the San Francisco 49ers. A few just want to replay the game. In closing, I want to say the Gateway's coming back, and this time we're coming back greater and bigger than ever. Thank you for all that you all do, and thank you for listening. Now I want to turn the table here in the meeting to my dear friend and co-president, Maurice Garber.
Thank you. Okay, everybody. My name is Maurice Garber. I live at 1234 Grove Street, and I've lived here all my life. I graduated from Clearwater High in 1961. In 2008, our Clearwater Downtown Gateway Group was formed. Most of those years up until now, I've been president, and Eleanor and I now are co-presidents. I feel like I'd rather take a beating than to be here tonight to talk about this subject, but I'm going to have to address it because we've let it go too long. The main reason for me to come here tonight is to address the accusations made
against myself and my co-president regarding our downtown community group by an angry young lady who has addressed this council many times. She has sent emails to our Facebook business and neighbors pages since 2002. We first ignored them, but no longer, because we're afraid people are going to start thinking maybe there's some element of truth in this. She has accused us of being a front or a shill for another group, and that's only one of them. And she says that we have diverted funds away from the Mercado project. Well, in 2012, a stakeholders advisory group was formed by the property owners and business owners of downtown Gateway. Eleanor and I were part of this. We met at City Hall. One of the members, Smokey Townsend, he had visited Mexico, and he came up with this idea. He had been to a mercado in Mexico, and he told us about how great it was. It was a gathering place for groups and a marketplace and a festival core. And that's how this idea was born in 2012. And so we took that idea and we rolled with it, and we love it, and we're enthusiastic about it. Now, down through the years, it might have changed a little bit, but we're very happy that you all have decided to go ahead with it and keep it going. We hope to see the mosaics done and some artwork done and some other things, and it'll be a beautiful destination point. We have also been accused by this young lady of theft, racism, conspiracy to defraud public funds. We've been accused of being scam artists, and we've been accused of being a cover for the Downtown Development Board. I don't know where these ideas came from, but we're here to defend ourselves tonight. We think that the job you all have done with the streetscape is beautiful, and we hope that you will move forward with the
Thank you,
Mercado.
ladies. We appreciate that.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. Anyone else on items not on the agenda?
All right, ladies, nice to talk. Okay, all right, let's start. Okay, just to address, my name is Kathy Flaherty, start now, okay. Just to address the ladies here, the Mercado was named Mercado, okay, for basically forever. At this meeting, they changed the name to Festival Court because they didn't like the Hispanic theme. I was at the meeting. I asked them, I said, by changing the name, it would be disrespectful for the Hispanic community, and they didn't care. So I went in front of you guys, and I had the name changed back to Mercado. So that is why I have had some issues with those ladies, okay? And basically, when the Mercado was stripped of all the Hispanic stuff, they put this out on their stuff. Our voices were heard. They listened to us. Yes, there's no Hispanic stuff. So if I think that's a little bit whatever, but that's just my call, all right? Now, the only thing these ladies have done for the East Gate is painted this dumpster, and I, if you know me, have been up here multiple times crying about unenclosed dumpsters. So this dumpster is on a drain, and this is what they've done with this is what they've done to support my neighborhood. The only time I've seen them in my neighborhood is in a golf cart with a police escort about 7 years ago, all right? They stay up there by Nature's Food Patch, which is in the Downtown Development Gateway area. That's why I say they're a shill group for the Downtown Development Board, because they are located in the Downtown Development Board district, okay? So that is why. So other than that, I also came up here to talk about the library, this building, because there's been lots of talk about maybe repurposing or doing something about this library. Like, it's not, the library is just one part of this building. This library is like a couch. It was designed to be a couch for the community, All right? All right, it's the coolest thing. When you go to the sound, it's right there. All right? I mean, it was built by community funds, all right? Ruth Eckerd put $2 million into it, okay? This building is an icon for the community. It should not even, nobody should even be talking about developing it. If you move this library out of this building, the city owns it, and I think it can just be developed like any other building. I'm not sure about that, but please do not develop this building. Is that it? No, I still have 20 minutes, or 20 seconds. All right, so this is another. It's a spectacular storing places, okay? I mean, it's really nice. Keep the library, all right? That's all I'm saying. I just hear all these whispers about library getting developed and stuff. I know Hibbard really wanted to get the library developed, and he threw a little fit about that, so. Anyway, thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Wyron. I don't think anybody has any plans to do anything at the library, so that's not good information.
I'm Mr. Haluba, and I aggravate the thin-skinned Brian Augst.
That's your first warning. You know the rules by now, Mr. Haluba.
Now, the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution safeguards several fundamental rights that are actually essential to American life. The right to petition government by individuals. They can address grievances. They can seek redress by submitting petitions to the government. This allows citizens to voice concerns, propose changes, or seek justice. Another part of it is the right to assemble peaceably. Citizens have the right to gather for peaceful purposes such as protests, demonstrations, or public meetings like this. The government cannot unreasonably restrict this right by coming up with a Rule 15. Now, freedom of speech, that ensures individuals can express their thoughts, opinions, and ideas without fear of government censorship or punishment. This freedom extends to various forms of communication, including spoken words, written text, and artistic expressions, such as words on a t-shirt. Rule 15 is an attempt to restrict these rights. Rule 15 is a threat to democracy. Rule 15 should be vacated and repealed now.
Anyone else on items not on the agenda?
Man, that's a hard act to follow right there. I do have some paperwork.
Please give your name for the record. Mr. Taylor, please give your name for the record.
Oh, my name is Michael Taylor. I'm from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Thank you very much. Just to let you know, Mr. Unks, what he has in his hand, you've been served. Mr. Margulies, you are now served. Mrs. Call, there's going to be one for the city. You're served. Unfortunately, the tyrant, Gandy's not here, and there's one for him too.
All right, that's your first warning, violation of Rule 15. You can either go out in the hallway and turn it inside out. You can take it
Cohen
off and turn
versus
it.
California allows me to wear this shirt. Cohen versus California, the guy had
Please
the
remove
word
Mr.
F
Taylor from the meeting.
draft.
Let's take a break.
Tyrant.
February 15th Clearwater City Council meeting. Please move this gentleman to the public side and away from the employees. Anyone else on items not on the agenda? Mr. Johnson?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, city staff. I am Bill Johnson. I have a card. I'll turn in a moment. Two items to comment on briefly. The first one is at your work session on Monday, you talked about some guidelines for ADUs, the additional density units, and you wisely talked about parking, the impact on parking, and I would indicate to you that right now we have several neighborhoods where people are parking in their front yards, not adjacent to the driveway, but just any which way and loose, and that does affect the character of neighborhoods. The second item that I want to share with you tonight, it addresses the runoff election referendum that's going to be on the ballot, and a careful review of that. I believe there's perhaps an unintended provision in it. The reason I say it's unintended, it's something that I didn't hear you talk about. It's not in the agenda items that were either on the first and second ordinance reading, nor was it highlighted in the actual wording of the ordinance title. And I'm talking about section 207 C1, which has to do with the vacancy on the council. When a vacancy on the council occurs, it says today that it should be filled by the majority vote of the remaining council members within 30 days after the vacancy. Fine. The person so appointed shall serve as a council member until the next regular election or special election. So back in 1995, Michael Dahlman was elected to then a 3-year term on the city council. A month later, he had to resign. So he resigned in April of '95. In June, the council appointed Coach Justice to an interim council term until the next election. So the next election was in November, and Robert Clark was appointed at that time. The draft ordinance says that they will be appointed for the entire term of the person that left, and there is a way that this could be addressed by just simply saying until the Tuesday in November following the regular city election, which would tie everything together. And so my question to you is whether this is something that you intended, or did you intend on having an unelected council member for as long as 2 years more on the council?
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Margolis, do you have anything to add here?
Well, Mr. Johnson and I had previously discussed this, and I had also given a statement to the Tampa Bay Times on this topic. The language is drafted the way it is to prevent vacancies in office. That's the entire point of a temporary appointment, so that we don't have any sort of period of vacancy. It is especially problematic to have a vacancy that would persist in the fall, because that's when you have to approve millage and budget. I don't know that there's any other phrasing that we could have used that would be a substantively different outcome and still ensure that we have a full council during the most critical time of the year, which is in the fall. So as far as individual reasons for people to cast votes, I mean, I wouldn't pretend to speculate, discuss, et cetera. It is noteworthy, however, that if Mr. Johnson has to cite one example from 1995 where this has come up, it's clearly not a routine problem. However, ultimately, our voters can decide for themselves whether that example from 1995 is such that they believe it would be best to phrase it differently.
Thank you. Anyone else on items not on the agenda?
Good evening. My name is Kelly Meyer. I live at 3311 San Bernardino Street. And I just wanted to thank you for your service to our city and its residents. And I'm here tonight to just address our City Neighborhoods Day. I had emailed the council members and our mayor, and I appreciate Mayor Ungst for getting back with me and Councilmember Beckman. I'm a person of faith, and the Neighborhoods Day has been moved from March 23rd to March 30th, which is Easter weekend. And that is a big weekend for many people in our community with family, their faith family. And secondly, I am a 2007 graduate of our Clearwater Citizens Academy, and I just appreciate so much all that the city employees put in day to day to support our city. And I know a lot of them are required to participate in Neighborhoods Day. They come out to our neighborhoods. It's a fun time. And I think it's an undue burden for them to have to come out on Easter weekend, to come out to neighborhoods that may not have as much participation because of the date that it was set to. And also, I speak as a former HOA president for our neighborhood and still an active member in my community. Picnic Day doesn't just impact the date that it's on. It's several days beforehand as well, whether it's prepping food, signs, tables. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And I would absolutely ask that you, as city staff and also our council, to reconsider putting the date back to March 23rd, or at least moving it into April. Also, I think one of the reasons I was told is because it was moved off of the 23rd because the election won't be certified in time for March 23rd. But we are getting to know our candidates and our council members right now as the election approaches. So I just ask that you please consider the neighborhoods and all of the families and people in our city that this impacts. Thank you.
Ms. Meyer, appreciate that. Anyone else on items not on the agenda? Ms. Poirier, do you want to, we didn't really talk about it Monday, the Neighborhoods Day. I know you've spoken with all of us, and there are some issues with moving it again.
Sure. So as we discussed, this was, Neighborhoods Day was born out of, from the council as an opportunity for council to interact with the neighborhoods. And as such, because of the election not being certified, I did reach out to all of council and look for direction in terms of how they wanted to handle Neighborhoods Day. And the direction I was provided was to move the date. The reason we didn't extend it further is because with spring breaks, the beach and our traffic gets busier. And so it makes traversing throughout our community more difficult in order to be able to get to all the neighborhoods, which is why we only moved it 1 week out. There is a lot of planning that goes into this. Certainly appreciate the neighborhoods and all their work that they have gone into doing this. It was not an easy decision. I know it wasn't an easy decision for council to make. To change it again would also create hardships. What we have discussed with the neighborhoods is for those that are unable to move it for various reasons, we will still support them, that they will have the neighborhoods grant available to them for that day. There just wouldn't be coordinated staff and council available that day. Happy to discuss it further if there's any other conversation or questions needed from the council.
Any other discussion from the council? Anyone have any? No? Okay. Thank you. So no one else on items not on the agenda, okay? City manager verbal reports.
Mayor, we had some conversation about moving the meeting from March 21st, this is also as it relates to the election, to Monday, the 18th. And during that conversation, it was decided that we would do the meeting at 1:30. However, council rules do require that any meeting that has public hearing items on it have to take place after 6 p.m. So I am asking the council, do you want to abandon the rule for that evening and do the meeting at 1:30? Or do you want to have the meeting at 6 o'clock? There is one other caveat to that. Because our library is an election polling location, it would not be able to be here because they need to the poll workers need to be able to come in here and set up at 5:30 at the latest. So we would have to move the location. We can certainly do so, whatever the will of the council is.
So either way, we'd have to move it, or just if it was at 1:30?
Just if it's at 6 o'clock. We're pretty confident that we could be out of here in time to accommodate them if we have the meeting at 1:30.
I'd prefer to be at 1:30. I think for these two folks that are running for office, that's an important evening for them. They want to speak for you, but I don't know if you want to sit through a council meeting when.
So just to be clear, so we will notice it to make sure that everybody is aware that the meeting time has changed, but you'll have a CRA meeting at 1, and then the council meeting would start at 1:30, or
Fine. Everybody's still okay
afterwards.
with that?
Yeah.
All right, let's move it, and we'll just, for the one time, make a little exception to the rule.
Understood.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, sir.
City attorney reports?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, Councilmember Beckman, would you like to start?
Okay. Well, I wanted to take a moment. The last time we were up here was the evening of the tragic plane crash, and I'm thinking you all might mention it too, but I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all of our first responders, our firefighters, our police officers, the surrounding agencies who pitched in and helped 2 weeks ago when the plane crashed into Bayside Estates Mobile Home Park. I have a friend here, a friend that lives on Butterfly Lane there, and thankfully her home was not affected, but tragically 3 people passed away. And I think certainly all the first responders, our communication staff, the emergency response staff, everyone in leadership did an amazing job of coordinating all those efforts, and I just wanted to recognize that and say thank you. And then on a lighter note, I'm excited because quarterly we have a big art festival. It's Clearwater Craft Festival this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at Coachman Park. It's free. All the artists are there. They don't have to pay vendor fees. It's a lot of community participation, handmade crafts and arts in a green market area. There's going to be tours of the sustainability of Coachman Park going on, so that's exciting. It's from 10 to 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday this weekend.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
The reaction to the plane crash was remarkable. Absolutely stunning work from everyone. On my lighter note, for those who enjoy following Scientology court cases, there are precious few wins for us, as judges are too often siding with Scientology's bogus arbitration clause, which members are forced to sign. So when they try to sue over fraud, human traffic, or elder abuse, these victims can never really get justice. That's why it was so delightful yesterday to read that a tentative ruling from Judge Randolph Hammock from L.A., who's presiding over a case that Leah Remini has brought against Scientology's nonstop attacks on her, ruled on Leah's behalf and rather entertainingly brought down the hammer on Scientology's ruthless leader, David Miscavige. Miscavige, as he always does, has been ducking service in L.A. and Clearwater, hiding behind gated properties and a team of security guards who have no idea where Miscavige lives or works. Judge Hammock literally ridiculed Miscavige and his attorney in his ruling. Now that the guffaws have subsided, the speciousness of that argument becomes readily apparent when one actually examines the facts, the judge wrote. Plaintiff attempted service at 7 addresses on multiple dates and spent nearly $10,000 thus far in their attempts to serve Miscavige. This cat and mouse game has run its course. It's simply time for Miscavige to simply step up as a responsible member of our community to generally appear in the case and defend himself. He is the apparent leader of a worldwide religious organization with considerable funds and support. He has literally teams of lawyers to defend him. Now is the time to utilize them to defend this case on its merits. And after that tentative ruling, Miscavige actually cried uncle, and overnight he accepted service. The little tyrant can be cornered and forced to buckle. You just have to have balls. After that tentative ruling, speaking of which, by the way, last night I saw a tweet from a Scientologist who wrote, "If not for the Church of Scientology, downtown Clearwater, Florida would be a wasteland." I walked around a bit after course to stretch my legs and marvel at how much this community has benefited from our presence. Even Coachman Park has been retrofitted to meet our standards of elegance and design. It's a beautiful area of the city. Now, only a Scientologist could ignore that Scientology created this wasteland in our downtown by instilling fear in the public and buying buildings to leave them sit empty as leverage for miscavige. We have to hope that more judges act like Judge Hammock. Because Scientology considers joking and degrading a high crime, we have to be willing to occasionally laugh at and in front of David Miscavige when he whines about how poorly the city treats him. Thank you.
Councilmember Scher.
So I want to echo some of the comments about how our first responders handled that whole situation. I know that it was covered by the media internationally. My family saw it on their 6 o'clock news, and even from their perspective, our first responders responded very well, and it was very clear in their coverage. So again, thank you. I'm part of the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council, and I just wanted to highlight two of the grants that we're applying that I think are pivotal. One is a proposal for a Tampa Bay Coastal Master Plan. It's about a $2 million grant, and it's to identify flood vulnerable communities and propose potential restoration and risk reduction projects. So I think that that is instrumental. And then a much bigger grant, anywhere between $100 to $200 million, which covers Orlando, Jacksonville, Manatee, Sarasota, and Tampa Bay. And that is a climate pollution reduction grant. So as a region, I think we're doing good work. We're being aggressive in seeking out those resources necessary to take care of our greatest resource. And I will circle back and give you some progress notes on that.
Thank you. Mr. Albright.
I want to echo how proud I was of our first responders also, how fast they got out there and took care of the situation. When I hear things like that, I'm very proud of both the police and the fire. Also, at the work session, I did bring up that I wanted to have at every council meeting an update about what the city is doing with the flooding on North Beach. We couldn't do it tonight because Marcus Williamson from our Public Works is not here. He did give us an update on Monday, but every council meeting he'll come and give us an update of what they're doing. And I did send over a federal grant information to the city today and to Whit Blanton as well that might get us some money to help fix that problem out there. So stay tuned.
Okay, thank you. And I spoke Monday, and I sent an email out about what a great job our police, fire, and everyone, all our first responders did with the plane crash. The city manager and I welcomed the Phillies truck on early Sunday morning, earlier than I usually show up at things, but I was happy to be there. So the Phillies are back. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, and just looking forward to a lot of great events coming up in the near future. We'll see you all next time.